So, you guys know the phrase, if you don't laugh, you'll cry? Well, the American people have risen to the occasion as all of these ridiculous projects that were being funded by the USAID using our taxpayer dollars have been exposed. And while the Democrats have been known for capitalizing on emergencies and never letting a good tragedy go to waste, on the right, we know not to let an opportunity for solid humor pass us by. So, in response to the exposure of all of these crazy spending projects that, again, have been funded with our money over the last who knows how long, like the trans opera in Colombia or promoting feminist principles in Libya, the American people are adding to the list of research projects that they are terrified might be cut off if dictator Elon Musk is allowed to continue with the heinous and indefensible goal of cutting waste from our budget. Let's get into it. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. I appreciate you being here. Do me a couple favors, hit the thumbs up button, become a subscriber to my channel if you're not already, and turn on your notifications so that you never miss out on a conversation like the one we're about to have. So, the work of the Department of Government Efficiency is moving forward, and recent polling shows that like 2/3 of the country is in favor of this effort to slim down the budget, to cut wasteful spending, and expose the fraud that has been happening for far too long at our expense. And probably the 1/3 that disagree with this effort are the ones that are likely diverting these funds back to themselves or to their friends and using the cover of aid to poor countries as a meaning of lining their own pockets. So, of course, they aren't going to be super excited about the idea of their paychecks stopping. However, in light of all that, I do think it is important to elevate the voices of those who are not being heard right now, those who seem to be particularly concerned about some of the projects that have yet to be completed and are worried about their future, as it looks like most, if not all, USAID employees are likely to be out of work very soon. Like this guy, for example. His work apparently was very, very focused, and he was on track to answer a very important question that all of us have been asking for years.
It's my job with this research team that I've been a part of, that USAID has been sending millions of dollars to for several years. Very important research project, but they shut us down. No more money. We may never know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop. We were so close. They shut us down.
I mean, to help this guy out, maybe we could start an independent research project. Get your kids on board this Halloween, get them on those Tootsie Pops, and have them start counting. You know, if they are still learning to count by then, since the Department of Education is next, and we might have an issue finding study participants. This next guy, he has been running a department that was set to address the context of a familiar phrase that most of us have said in our lives, but we never really understood the meaning of.
Trump, I just lost my job. Yeah. In fact, my entire department just lost their jobs. I was one of the head research analysts in charge of discovering how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. But according to our government, that answer doesn't matter anymore. I mean, all those years, all that research, it's just gone.
And in the comments, there are people offering support to this young man as they are being affected by these layoffs as well. One woman said, "I lost my job too. I was never able to find where the peck of pickled peppers were that Peter Piper picked. I just needed a little more time. I was so close. I could taste the peppers." Now, this guy and his extremely distraught son had several projects that they were working on, and it's a tragedy that this work will not continue.
There's a lot of questions that need to be answered that we was close to getting the answer to. I mean, there's several things. Some things we do is we still trying to figure out, why do we drive on parkways and park on driveways? We still trying to figure out, why isn't there mouse flavored cat food? If you try to fail and end up succeeding, which one did you do? If you drop soap on the floor, is the soap dirty? Is the floor clean? Why do you call it quicksand if you sink slowly? Why does your feet smell and your nose run? Why do we sell round pizzas in square boxes? I mean, questions like this. I mean, I was a supervisor. My main goal was to find out, and we were close, find out how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Sounds like he and the last guy may have been coworkers. This guy in particular, I think I have questions about what he was studying, but I think that his department probably needs to be studied.
Of DOGE, Donald Trump and Elon Musk took away my job. As you know, they're trying to shut down USAID, and my job, counting the spots on ladybugs' backs in Kazakhstan, has been cut. Along with counting the spots on ladybugs' backs, I was also the lead effort in the Pride movement across the Middle East. We were receiving $50 million in funding a year, paid by the taxpayers of America. All of our very important jobs are now gone. Counting Ladybugs International, or CLIT for short, is no longer in the running because Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and DOGE do not deem us important enough to run. They think that keeping Americans' tax money in America is more important than funding our jobs. All of those overseas jobs are now gone in a night because of them.
I just can't. And we do have to mention this guy because I think he was the one who started this whole movement in encouraging former USAID employees to speak out about their important work. And I would play the video, but he does have a copyrighted song playing over top of it, so I will just read the caption. It says, "Just got fired from USAID. I worked in the Department of Window Raindrop Racing. I was the referee." And we do have more supportive comments from people who feel like they are in the same boat. One woman said, "I got fired from USAID. I was part of the team studying if a watched pot takes longer to boil, now that no one is watching." Another one said, "My husband was just let go too. His department was in charge of determining if the wheels on the bus do in fact go round and round." Another one says, "I got laid off from USAID. I was in charge of alphabetizing what people would do for a Klondike bar." Another one says, "I got fired from USAID. I was assistant manager of the A Needle in a Haystack department. We prided ourselves on precision needle placement and our annual like-finding convention. Got fired from the USAID. I worked for the department that actually counted how many straws broke a camel's back. Got fired from USAID. I worked in the Department of Animal-Mammal Noises. We were on the brink of scientific breakthrough on what the fox said. I worked for USAID determining if the hokey pokey was addictive. I was let go before I could turn myself around. I got fired from USAID. I was in charge of finding out who let the dogs out. Got fired from USAID. I was a work-from-home firefighter. Got fired from USAID. Spent the best years of my life studying if Ross and Rachel were indeed on a break. I got fired from USAID. I was in charge of measuring just how close when someone says I was this close." So I just wanted to make sure that the voices of the American people were heard, especially as it looks like the work that Elon Musk is doing is not going to stop anytime soon. Just the other day, he was even in the Oval Office with Donald Trump, as President Trump, allowed Musk to provide an update on what has been found and what the plans are going forward. And he even had the nerve to bring his kid, perhaps to soften the public and make us see him as a human being instead of the horrible monster that he clearly is.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, X, are you okay? This is X, and he's a great guy, high IQ. He's a high IQ individual.
And he's got this, check out this cool chain he's got. How great is that for the average American?
We had
That's
no
what we're
idea. We had no idea we were going to find this much.
As I mentioned earlier, really, the first order of business is to make sure we're actually collecting. Sorry for this. I thought my son might enjoy this, but he's sticking his fingers in my ears and stuff. So it's a bit hard to hear sometimes. Hey, stop that. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country.
Kid looks like he's doing his own research. Anyway, in all seriousness, I mean, as serious as we can be right now, the crazy thing about all of these is that they are not too far off from the names of the actual projects that were being funded by this organization.
If this DOGE update doesn't make your ears bleed, I don't know what will. Rapid fire, let's go. $3 million used to study steroid and hamster fighting. $2.3 million used to study the cocaine effects on beagles. $600,000 in parrot romance. Parrot as in the bird. $500,000 in racial aggression in mice. So you're training mice to be racist? $1.1 million training mice to binge drink. Man, y'all are just really going after these mice. Damn. $2.1 million to encourage Ethiopians to wear shoes. $2.7 million to study Russian cats on treadmills. $875,000 studying the effect of cocaine on quails when they mate. Wow. I forgot one. $187,000 to verify that children love their pets.
As I was listening to some of the videos that people had posted, I had my phone open and the volume was up, and my husband walked by and he said, "Wait, are they serious?" Because that's where we are at as a society. We have been taken for a ride on a giant roller coaster with clowns running the show. And we're at a point where things that should never have been questioned as to whether or not they're serious need to be questioned, because unfortunately, most of the time they are. But I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this in the comments below. And if you were fired from USAID recently, what was your job and what questions will we never have answered now? Please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Again, subscribe to my channel if you are not already. I am trying to grow this channel and that support is really appreciated. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one.